Hey everybody, welcome to Geekoholics Anonymous, episode 96. I'm your host Rico, here with my co-host,
Mr. Dane Cody.
Mr. Dane Cody. How are you, fine sir?
Yeah, I've been better.
Yeah?
Yeah. I hate moving. It sucks ass.
Yeah, we heard some news that you have to relocate.
Yes, I will be relocating again. So that's kind of a bummer. So now the house hunt is starting again.
Oh, that's going to be a nightmare.
Oh, dude, it is a nightmare. Prices have gone up since a year ago.
And your rent's going to be more expensive.
Oh,
lame.
It's stupid.
Well, if you don't
Maybe I'll
know,
move over to Victoria where it's cheap.
I don't think it's cheap here either.
I was being facetious.
You can do your job from here.
It would be a bit of a commute. Yeah. It would mean changing companies and such.
Your company isn't in Victoria, is it?
No, but we do actually have some clients over there, so... You know.
Well, you could find work easily enough. It might be a little difficult for your wifey.
Yeah. We're not looking to move out of the city. We're just frustrated with the housing market here, that's all.
If I wasn't so entrenched with my life on the island, I could see myself living on the mainland.
Yep, that's kind of where we're at right now. We're kind of entrenched with our lives.
If we didn't have like our family and all the support and everyone here, then we probably wouldn't think about it too much.
Yep.
But it's just too much to leave behind. Anyway,
yeah.
Welcome everybody. This is Geekoholics Anonymous, everyone's favorite random video game podcast. If you didn't know, we get together once a week, talk about video games, TV, movies, or whatever the hell we like. We've been very light on the TV and movie content lately.
I know, you haven't been going to see movies anymore.
I did go see John Wick 2. Did I talk about that?
No,
that was after last week's.
Because it came out last week.
Yeah, that's right.
And I unfortunately have not seen it yet. I'm disappointed in myself.
We could talk about that. But before we do that, we usually start the show with our designated drinking section, because you can't be a geekaholic without being an alcoholic.
Yeah, I resemble that statement.
You can. Alcoholism's bad.
Yeah, it's really bad for you.
Drinking's bad.
But it tastes so good.
Except for when it's good.
Yeah.
And then we get into some what you've been playing, news, public service announcements, and our free-for-all, which of this episode will consist of our game of the year 2016 in 2017.
We're a little bit late, but give us a break.
Yeah.
Because.
Yeah, that's why. Because. Why, Daddy? Because. That's why.
Exactly. Do as I say, not as I do.
Quit asking questions before I smack you.
Whoa, that seems wrong.
Hey, no, it's cool.
Oh.
Old school parenting.
Whoa.
I'm just kidding. There's no children were smacked in the recording of this episode.
Not yet, anyways.
So, Dane,
what's up?
What are you drinking?
I'm actually drinking some Tito's vodka with a little 7-Up tonight.
Tito? I've never even heard of that.
It was voted world's best vodka.
What?
Yeah.
Where the fuck's Tito from? Is he from the hood, man?
He's from the United States of America.
Oh, he's a total gangbanger.
It's a potato vodka. It's delicious. It's gluten-free.
Ooh.
There you go.
Nice. So it probably wouldn't make my tummy upset. Not that I'm allergic to gluten. Because I don't think I'm allergic to gluten.
I don't know. It's a nice vodka. Very smooth. Surprisingly cheap and delicious. So,
is this like a recent award winner or something? I've never heard of this stuff before.
I've actually got a few bottles. One of which I have been infusing with cherries for the last couple of years.
Oh, wow!
I know.
Man,
it's sitting in my fridge, and it has got a ton of cherries in there, and it is a beautiful color now. It is quite delicious.
I don't know how I've never heard of this alcohol.
Yeah.
Well, this Grey Goose is vodka, right?
Grey Goose is a vodka.
Yeah.
It is a grain vodka made in France.
Then there's Smirnoff, and then there's Absolute, and I'm sure there's many more, but I've never heard of Tito. Tito, man.
Yeah, in our house, we usually have Tito's or Luxusawa.
And I've never heard of that one before, but as proven, I am not a very
That is actually
drinker.
Probably one of my favorite vodkas.
Yeah?
It is also a potato vodka from Europe. It is quite delicious, and it is not overly expensive, and I find that it is very smooth. And I would prefer to drink it than Grey Goose, to be honest with you.
Grey Goose is pretty popular, right?
It's very popular. It won the best vodka in the world, the award, years ago, and they've kind of managed to ride that for quite a while.
Yeah, with marketing, and you see it everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. So
I am drinking the famous Grouse finest Scotch whiskey.
Wow.
Remember when we thought we were talking about wild turkeys and shit? It wasn't the turkey one.
Okay.
It looks like it has a fucking turkey on the fucking bottle here.
Well,
finest Scotch, matured in seasoned oak casks and bottled in Scotland.
How many years old?
I have no idea. Where would it say that?
Is it a blended Scotch?
This is finest Scotch. A marriage of fine, rare Scotch whiskies. So that's
it's a blended Scotch. So it's not a single malt. Such a Scotch noob.
This is the shit that was forgot at my house. I don't know who forgot it, but now I'm drinking it.
Good for you.
So I thought I'd try something different.
Sweet. How are you enjoying it?
I like my Hennessy better than I like this stuff.
Yeah, Hennessy's probably a little sweeter.
Yes. Less like paint thinner and a little sweeter. That's not bad. It's going down fine.
Fair enough.
So, Jane.
Yo.
What you been playing? Oh, wait. Looking at the outline. Nothing.
Yeah.
I know what you've been playing, but
I've been playing some Gears of War 4. I'm trying to get through that. I'm now, I'm in Act 4 now.
Oh, you're almost done then.
So I don't think I have too much further to go.
No. You're at the end, pretty much. I think it's Act 5 is like a very short act and it's done.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got the feeling I was probably 3/4 of the way through if I had to guess. I've been playing a few other things as well. I picked up, I didn't pick up because I started playing because it was actually, I felt bad because my Xbox One had been sitting there for so long without being turned on. So I turned it on and I realized that I had, now my brain just went completely mushy on me.
I don't know.
I know.
Because I haven't been in your house spying on you lately.
Oh, well, that's probably good. It's the Insomniac game.
Ratchet and Clank.
Nope. The one for the Xbox One that came out near release.
Sunset Overdrive.
That's the one.
That game's pretty neat.
Don't like the way it handles.
It takes some getting used to, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I started it. I've been playing.
After
maybe
playing
about an hour of it, give or take, and I'm not sure
because that was a Games with Gold, right?
Yeah, it was a Games with Gold a while ago. And I'm just kind of getting around to it now. To be honest, I was playing Forza 6, and then I thought maybe I'd play something else besides Forza on my Xbox One because that's pretty much what I've been playing on my
Forza
Xbox
machine,
One. Pretty much, yeah.
I think you're kind of right though. After playing Ratchet and Clank, I bet you going to Sunset Overdrive probably doesn't feel as tight.
I don't know. It felt kind of floaty. The way the bouncing and stuff on the cars and whatnot goes, it doesn't feel great.
There's a learning curve to the movement in that game, and
which is really kind of sad because the entire game is really based on the movement. Like it's all about moving. In that game,
grinding rails and bouncing off cars, and
the fact that you have to actually hit a button to connect essentially to the rails and stuff is kind of annoying.
I can't remember the controls. That came out 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was not too long after launch.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
So yeah, I don't know. And like the whole zombie, like the style of that game, it's so over the top.
It's very colorful.
I actually like the color. I think it's a great looking game.
I remember not liking the enemies in that game.
Yeah, they're like these weird overcharged zombie things.
They're gray shark people things, kinda. I don't know. They look weird.
Yeah, they drank too much of this energy drink and they got boils coming off of them, and some of them explode, and I don't know.
You're probably not going to keep up with it by the sounds of it.
I'll probably give it another shot just because I feel like I should. I don't know. It's weird. Insomniac, it seems like when they make a game specific to the PlayStation platforms, they make these incredible knock it out of the park video games. And so far, every game that they've released that has not been a PlayStation exclusive, there was this one, there was the weird multiplayer shooter that they did a year or two ago that was kind of not great either.
What was that?
I know, that's how awesome it was. Although, as we've already established, my brain tonight is apparently mush. But yeah, essentially anything that they've released that's not been on a PlayStation platform has been kind of mediocre. I don't know. And yet, then last year they released Ratchet and Clank, and that game was amazing. So, yeah.
Yeah, they've been very hit and miss.
So,
I think you might have them confused with someone else. Because Resistance was the PlayStation shooter trilogy that they did.
Yeah, and I thought they did
never
a great
mind.
job.
You're right. Fuse. Yeah, that was a fucking turd.
Yeah, Fuse. I feel like maybe that game wouldn't have been too bad if I played it with other people as my teammates.
No, it was a fucking turd.
But using the AI and stuff, it just didn't seem great. I remember playing the demo and thinking, this is a game I'm not going to purchase.
And they released like 3 mobile games last year that I didn't even know about. I'm looking on their Wikipedia page.
Really?
Yeah, iOS, Android.
I'm not even aware that they did that.
Yeah, 3 different games. And then a Microsoft Windows Store game.
Right, well they did that one, what was it? There was the submarine...
Deep.
Yeah, Song of the Deep, which was that one, which is like the submarine game.
And then they did the VR games. And their next game is Spider-Man.
Which looks amazing.
Yeah, after Ratchet and Clank, which was really good. Spider-Man was really cool.
Yeah.
I played a couple things.
I see that.
The biggest new thing I played, new old thing, because it came out in November, was Watch Dogs 2.
Interesting.
Full disclosure, Ubisoft provided me with a copy to play and share feedback, review, whatever you want to call this is what we do here. I like that game.
Influence, man. We're influencers.
Yeah. Influence like what? Like a couple handfuls of people? I guess that's better than 0.
Exactly.
I started Watch Dogs 2. I think I don't know how many hours I am in, but I'll tell you this much. I'm times 100 hours more than Watch Dogs 1. I don't know what it was. I've told the story before. I think Watch Dogs 1 came out before we started the podcast.
I think you're right. I think it was the fall before we started the podcast.
I don't think we talked about it too much, except for the fact that I started Watch Dogs 1. I did the intro mission, and then I was like, I don't like anything about this game. I'm done.
That's fair.
And I meant to go back to it, and I never did. That happens
to me sometimes.
I don't know what it was. It just didn't click, and I meant to try and give it a second go, and it just never happened. Watch Dogs 2, based in San Francisco. It's a little less serious and has more of like the fun. I don't know how to say it. What's the word? It's more of a carefree group of hackers. I like the people in the story a little bit better, the different characters.
Right.
Cool voice actors, different motif than the first game. The first game was very serious, very dark, and like, we're the world of hacking, and I can't even remember the first guy's freaking name in the first game. That's how much I cared about it. But this one's like in San Francisco. It's very colorful. It's I don't know. It's a cool game. I liked it a lot better. The opening mission was really neat.
I've heard really good things about the second game. The first one I never played myself. I remembered that incredible E3 demo that they showed off.
Oh yeah,
pre-launch that was on next gen consoles. But of course they announced that it was, that's going to be for next gen or whatever.
Oh God,
I think that had to be one of the first PlayStation 4, Xbox One game demos that looked just amazing. And I remember seeing all of that, and it looked awesome, and it looked super cool, and I liked kind of what they were going with. And then I don't know what happened. It came out. Some people seem to really like it.
It was Ubisoft's like biggest selling new IP. Like it killed.
Yeah,
like, it did really well. Like sales wise,
right? Because I think a lot of people were hoping it was going to be as awesome as that E3 demo was.
Well, it was definitely like an early, this is for next gen. It was like revealed during PlayStation 3 era.
No, absolutely. And then it got pushed back a little bit.
And again, and it was like, took forever to come out.
Yeah. But yeah, for me, it was a game that when it finally came out, I think that it kind of came out at a weird time. There was some other games that I wanted to play or was playing. And I just sort of missed it, and then the reviews kind of came out, and I remember reading very up and down. Some people seemed to really enjoy it. Some people thought it was terrible.
It doesn't have the worst Metacritic. It's Metacritic of 80.
Yeah, that's kind of what I remember.
Watch Dogs 2 is at 82.
But for whatever reason, I don't really remember feeling the need to get in on it. I think maybe because... If memory serves, I think I had Grand Theft Auto. The last Grand Theft Auto game, I feel like came out the fall before Watch Dogs did, or right around the same time.
Yeah, I can't remember. That was part of it too. There was a bunch of other good games I never got back to. So, regardless of whatever about Watch Dogs 1,
yep,
Ubisoft, I'm pretty sure, is happy about it. Notwithstanding,
it had sold well over 10 million copies. So.
Notwithstanding, it had its drama, delays, all this stuff. Did it meet the hype? Yada yada. Watch Dogs 2, kind of a little under the radar. I think a lot of people were not super excited for it, necessarily clamoring for a sequel.
Yeah.
This game, like I said, takes place in San Francisco. You play as a hacker named Marcus. You join this hacker group called DedSec. And
oh wow, very hackery.
So the CTOS, or the City OS, that is like the infrastructure system that monitors all the people and all the information and data, and basically turns the city into like a living, breathing, data collecting machine. Has basically spread. In the first game was Chicago. It's basically every major U.S. city now. And DedSec is trying to bring them down because basically they use all that information against you. You know, it's kind of like making a social commentary about society today with all the stuff going on. You know, if you've seen Snowden, obviously it's very, making fun of a lot of it.
I was going to say, it sounds a little bit on the nose right now.
And bringing a lot of real life references about the hacktivism. Like the missions are like, they're very close to some stuff going on in the headlines, but like, obviously.
Yeah, it sounds very on the nose right now.
Little twists to the stuff. I like a few things about this game.
Okay.
One, you can play however you want.
That's awesome.
You can go stealth. Basically, as you're walking through the world, it's an open world, third person
action game.
I can't really remember much about the first game to even compare, but I imagine it's just an upgrade compared to the system in the first game. But as you're walking around, your phone and I guess it's all done through your phone, but because your laptop's in your bag, so I imagine it was through your phone. As you're walking around the world, you'll see little lines dart out of your guide towards cars, stoplights, cameras, or whatever.
Right.
And you hit your square button, and then if you hit is it square? No, L1.
Okay.
It'll do, it depends what it is, actually. If it's a camera, you hit square, and then what happens is you'll sit down and pull out your laptop, and you'll hack into the camera. And then you can see, out of the camera. And then from the camera, you could, like, essentially hack over to, like, a computer, or you can open doors that have security systems, or you can see security panels that are tied to gates that you need to open. Meanwhile, you're sitting around the corner and you're like not even in the compound that you're essentially kind of breaking into, or whatever the mission may be. So it's really neat. You can hop around from device to device.
Interesting. Okay.
You can hack around the environment. You also have a drone and a little car as well. What do they call the car? I think it's called the jumper.
An RC car?
Yeah, it's those 2-wheel RC cars that can like jump up in the air. If you've ever seen those. You've probably seen videos of them.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
They can hop up in the air. Anyway, with this little drone RC car, you can like fly in, open doors, hack into computer systems. It's got a little R2-D2 arm that comes out and plugs into the USB. And you can basically, I've completed like, I think 3 or 4 missions without even having to go in myself.
Nice.
And it's so fun just sneaking around with this little car, darting between furniture, going upstairs, hacking into computers, disarming security systems.
I feel like a badass.
It's very different, right? It's like stealth, but like,
that's pretty cool. But it's not even necessarily you.
But it's not even you. It's like you're doing it through another device.
That's pretty neat.
It is really neat. It's like
so I'm assuming like depending on how you've upgraded your toys, you can do a bunch of the side stuff without even being involved.
And you can do different stuff. Like, I think I haven't gotten too far in the tree, but I'm pretty sure you can shock guys with your little car.
Okay.
The one thing I haven't found is when I was trying to do some stealth missions, I don't think you can pick guys up to hide them. So the thing that's kind of annoying is if you don't kill them, they can be woken up if they're discovered.
Oh, I see.
And then the enemies will search around the area or whatever looking for, they don't know it's you, but they're looking for someone.
Right, because somebody knocked this dude unconscious or shot him in the butt.
You get a little taser style stun gun. You can build guns. Actually, it's kind of funny in your little hacker space. You have a big giant 3D printer, and you basically 3D print all your guns.
Oh, okay. That's very on the nose. Wow.
So you can 3D print your weapons. That you 3D print the little RC car and the drone. It's kind of neat. It's a funny little system. I'm finding it really fun. It's got a really, really flashy, like cool, like the UI and how the cutscenes and the little quick takes and cuts between missions and stuff. Yeah. Very super stylized. Has this anonymous kind of like DedSec is really like kind of like anonymous.
The video game version of anonymous.
Yeah, they're distorted videos like, we've been watching you and they've been doing this to you and we're going to protect you and we're going to do, like they have like also kind of Mr. Robot. If you've seen Mr. Robot.
I have not yet, actually. I need to do that.
That's a great series.
I know.
I've been having a lot of fun with it. It's like Grand Theft Auto, but with this whole hacking
aspect of it,
stealth aspect that doesn't exist in those games. It's very unique. It's a different gameplay mechanic that obviously in Watch Dogs 1 had a version of this. I don't think it was as well realized as this one is.
Right.
It's really cool. Like you can be getting, I just upgraded my tree. So if I do it has like not a star system, but like when you're getting chased by the cops or security companies, like a threat level kind of indicator that obviously ramps up how many guys are chasing you, what types of vehicles are chasing you, and then the helicopter comes out and so forth. I've actually gotten a perk where you can hack the helicopters if you got really in a high speed chase and we're getting totally pursued by them.
Oh, wow.
You could hack the helicopter so that it just retreats. You can hack
just goes away.
You can hack cars as you're driving along. You can essentially make them turn off the road and crash into stuff.
Oh, wow. That's totally scary.
It's just making light of like this whole interconnected system, and if people could do all these crazy things, this is kind of what would happen.
It's the possibility of what could happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if everything totally went, to the left.
Well, I mean,
who knows?
We are going that way. Our cars are now steering by wire via electronics, and our cars are now super connected. You can start your car and unlock the doors and lock the doors and all that crap via cell phone apps now. So, I mean, we're on the way, running headlong into this world. So I don't know how many hours I'm in. I think I'm about 10 hours in. Okay, wow. So
more.
You put a
I got
good chunk of time into it
late last week. I was playing it all weekend and I kept going back to it. I was honestly like, I want to do more of this. Actually, one of the most amazing features of this game for an open world game, and it's something that fucking drives me nuts in open world games, they put the fucking GPS on the road. Like, it's the simplest solution. I've said it before. I don't know if I've said it in the podcast. I fucking hate looking at the goddamn mini-map.
Oh, as you drive around.
As you're driving around,
somewhere?
or as if you're doing anything in any game.
So in other words, they float it on the actual road to tell you where to go.
Like it's like a racing line in Forza or whatever.
Right.
It's obviously a little thicker.
Yeah.
You can look and enjoy the beautiful world they've crafted. You keep your eye on the road. You're not just randomly high-speed
rear-ending. You're not as easily
lost,
I'm sure.
You're not high-speed rear-ending people because you're looking at a stupid mini-map in the corner. That right there is one of the best features. I can't remember if the old game did that. I don't feel like it did, but I could be totally wrong because I honestly can barely remember the first Watch Dogs.
Either way, that sounds like a feature that other open world games that you're driving around in should probably steal.
There's multiplayer, there's cooperative missions. I haven't done any of that. There's tons of side missions, tons of collectibles. I don't know.
Have you had anybody start hacking you in your
Excuse
game?
Me. No, I've seen those missions, but I haven't been screwed by anyone. I don't know if it's off or if you have to opt into it. I'm not sure. Or maybe no one's playing. I don't know. I doubt that, but
okay.
It's a cool game. I'm really liking it. I am very early in. I had heard lots of positive buzz about the game when it came out. It was pretty well received. I don't know if it's done as well as the first game in terms of sales.
No, it definitely didn't.
But I think it is a much better game. And if you're looking for something to do and you like those open world games, I think you might find something neat here. Because it is Grand Theft Auto. Like, you can go guns blazing, kill everybody, and do that.
Right.
But you have these really other cool mechanics you can tackle these missions with, which to me is really cool. When you're huddled, you're outside the building, sitting cross-legged, playing on your laptop. Meanwhile, you're breaking in, stealing stuff, and doing all this really cool stuff.
Right. Huh.
It's neat. I'm enjoying it. So that's what I played primarily.
Right.
I played some Resident Evil 7 again as well last night.
Putting in your VR time?
Third boss, fourth boss. I actually didn't play it in VR yesterday.
Oh, man. You disappoint me.
I know, it is disappointing. I definitely like it better in VR. It's so much creepier in VR. It's not as scary in non-VR.
Yeah, I can see that.
But just with the way things have been going around the house here, to just get into VR and strap it all on and disconnect from my house right now is not really a good idea. So
yeah, I hear you. That is the one downside to VR is you really, or upside depending on how you look at it, but you really shut out the outside world.
It's freaking dope. But when, my wife needs help with a really fussy baby lately, strapping into VR is not very convenient because I can't hear anything or see anything.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So I think I'm on the third or fourth boss now. I'm out of the mansion and gotten into the grounds of the game, if anyone knows where that is. Yeah, that game's still good. I really like that game.
Okay.
And then
Fair enough.
The other thing I played, we talked about it last week, Fire Emblem Heroes.
Yeah, and you're like, I need to re-roll because I'm me.
I gave up on the re-rolling because I just wasn't getting the characters I wanted.
Right.
I did get 2 5-stars.
Okay.
And I went with that. Marth and another guy, what's his name? Ephraim or whatever.
Okay. I have a 5-star Marth as well.
He's a lance user, and obviously Marth is he's a sword user. Man, right. The 5-star characters fucking break the game.
Yeah, I'm almost wondering if at some point Nintendo's going to release a patch to maybe tone them down. I don't know.
Apparently, they've already toned down Takumi, who is the big archer that everyone wanted.
Right.
Marth, just at level 4, he doesn't have it because he doesn't have the best weapon. But at level 5, you get the best weapons with each character, and you get the best skills as well.
Right.
He has a heal every 3 turns. He heals, which is like super valuable, and he does.
Is it something you have to unlock from him?
No, he just has it.
You can like Marth is.
Maybe you have to unlock it. I don't think so, but
interesting.
You can upgrade their skills so they get more powerful. I think he has it by default. But yeah, he has a double attack. He does mass damage. Same with the other 5-star lance user I have. He has like an AoE that lowers all the enemies' defenses.
Oh man.
So like within 2 squares of him, all the enemies' defenses are down. So he helps you do damage. So having a team with just 2 5-stars, I can essentially I steamrolled the campaign.
Wow.
In no time. I'm halfway through the campaign on hard.
Oh, okay, wow.
And I've even done I think the first 2 chapters on lunatic difficulty.
Oh wow, I didn't realize there was one after hard. I thought it was just
the stamina costs go up big time on the different difficulties. So
okay.
I think on Saturday I did all this, and it was super quick because these 5-star guys just make mincemeat of everyone. It's ridiculous.
See, both my 5-stars are both sword users, so it's a little bit annoying because
who's your other 5-star?
I have a Roy and a Marth.
Oh, okay.
They're both 5-star.
I think they're very similar, except for Marth's better.
Yeah.
But even your Roy, your Marth, and you said you had Camilla, like a 4-star?
I have a 4-star Camilla. Yeah.
She's still really good, too.
She's awesome. But you end up in a situation, if I put both of them on a team, then I kind of have to either not have a magic user or an archer. Like, it kind of just puts my team at a weird balance disadvantage.
I have a very balanced team. I have all 3 colors types.
Yeah.
And then I don't have an archer. I actually have a cleric that can attack, which is amazing. I can't remember her name.
I think I may have one of those as well. Oh, and I also have I guess a summoner. They transform into a
dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple of them. There's Tiki.
I think that's the one I got.
Naui as well.
No, that's the one I got. Naui.
Yeah, Naui is a pretty good one.
I think it's I got a 3-star Naui.
So I have a 4-star Sarah, who is a cleric, but she can attack and has a ranged attack. So she's super versatile. She's really good at keeping your team alive.
That's very handy.
So with my reroll, I got a team that just stomps. Like, I don't have the best characters in the game,
but you're able to
Marth is a really good character. I don't know. I've actually had 3 or 4 pulls through doing the campaign, maybe 5 even, and I haven't seen a single other 5-star since.
Yeah, it happens. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I've rolled another 2, and I haven't gotten any 5-stars since. So apparently, the longer you go without one, the higher your chances are to get one. But I don't know. That's what I read somewhere.
So with 2 5-star characters, I like the game a lot more. I was stuck before. Literally, I played 4 times as much and got stuck and had to grind. And then I got 2 5-stars and I just steamrolled the whole campaign. Actually, the 2 last missions were I failed on once each and had to redo them. And that's because the couple boss units at the end there. They had some really crazy abilities that made them super OP.
Right.
So I just had to figure out how to get around that. And then I stomped their asses.
Nice. Yeah, no, I've been playing it a little bit. I think I'm at chapter 6 now, halfway through chapter 6 in the campaign. I've just been kind of slowly meandering through it. Usually on the weekend, I'll play like a couple story campaigns, and then I'll usually play some of the other stuff in there as well. Like I know that there's a few other campaign mission stuff that you can, well, not really campaign.
They add bonus missions.
Yeah, exactly. Right now, so I've been kind of doing some of that.
There's a bunch of different missions, and if you do them on different difficulties, you earn orbs. So that's an easy way to get more orbs to summon more characters. If you redo some of the earlier chapters on different difficulties, you can get quite a few orbs. The special maps, you can get like 6 orbs, doing it 3 on the one difficulty and then the other.
Right.
So
yeah, and right now, if you log in every day, you get 2 orbs. So that's also super helpful.
Yeah, I have 0 orbs right now.
I think I have 9 or 10.
So yeah,
I also upgraded my castle a few times too, though. So that spent, I think I'm at 60 or 80% XP boost right now.
That's what I'm at, which gives you the experience boost. So I fell out of love with it, and then I fell back in love with it. The only problem I have now is now that I've beaten the campaign, and I can go do it in higher difficulties, I don't really care for the arena mode that much. So I'm kind of like, I guess I beat it. Should I spend any money? I don't know. I did enjoy it a lot. Maybe I should give them some for that fact. But I guess with every day they add little special maps where you can unlock characters. I guess that's the ongoing thing you do. And I guess the arena mode, you get feathers, so that's how you can eventually upgrade all your guys to 5 stars.
I'm also noticing that some of these special maps that they're releasing now are a much higher level. Like, there was some special maps last weekend that were level 25 and 35.
Oh, that would have been that special event to get that one character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there's definitely some incentive to get your characters at a nice high level.
That's kind of what I've been doing, is playing the higher difficulties to level up my guy. My squad's at like level 26 plus minus.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So it really slows down when you get into when you get into the double digits around 15. It really slows down.
Yeah.
Because
that's not surprising.
You got to beat higher level units or like units the exact same level as you to really get sizable amounts of experience. If they're lower than you, some instances you get like 0 experience.
Yeah, or very little. I'm even noticing that now. Because I've leveled up just playing the regular side stuff.
Yeah.
So like my main team is now a bit above some of the story missions, and there's a few times where... Because you also get quite a bit more experience for whoever kills or...
Yeah, whoever deals the killing blow gets the most experience. You get experience for actions and then more for actually getting the kill. Yeah. So you kind of got to manage who finishes guys off if you want to have a balanced team.
Totally. That's actually sometimes where there's been a few times where I could take out that guy, but I choose not to because I want to get that other character moved closer to him and get him to finish him off. Yeah. To level them up. So good times.
Definitely, they've gotten the core Fire Emblem stuff in there pretty good. Yep. So I'm pretty happy with it.
I'm still playing it, not a ton, but I wasn't crazy, but I'm sort of savoring it. I'm going at it slowly.
Yeah.
So
I'm a Fire Emblem nut, so I did not go at it slowly.
I know it's not overly long, so I don't want to just finish it all off and then not be able to play anything.
Yeah.
So
I had something else, but I'll talk about it next week. Or I won't, because Horizon will be out next week, and I'll probably...
Oh, don't say that. Oh, my gosh.
With that, I guess we can get into the news.
Let us talk about the news.
So, if you were paying attention to our Facebook or Twitter feeds, you probably saw the video of the guy who got a Switch early.
Mm-hmm.
And he posted a video of like the whole OS, like menus,
unboxing,
settings,
menus, everything. Essentially,
the whole
he went through
deal.
Everything.
Yeah, he went through everything. World first. A lot of media, unfortunately, not us. have their Switches now, but they're still not allowed
Under
to show.
NDA.
They're still not allowed to show anything. I think yesterday they were allowed to go, "Hey, we have a Switch."
I think that you're right.
That was the only thing they were allowed to show, because I know lots of people, like YouTubers and media, that have the system now, but they literally have not been able to show anything besides, "Hey, we have the box. Look, we have a Switch. Look, footage coming soon."
Yeah, exactly.
I have a feeling unboxing embargoes are like, by the time this podcast goes live, there'll probably be a bunch more. And then I don't know when the Zelda embargo is, but imagine it'll be early next week sometime.
Yeah, that would be my guess.
If not Friday. So, funny thing. That Switch and the guy who made all the videos, that Switch was stolen.
Yeah.
This story was really hilarious. So this guy, Hip Hop Robot, was his name on Reddit. I was like, "Hey, I got a Switch early from my retailer. Yeah, this is really cool."
Just lucky that a retailer shipped it to him early.
So everyone was like, "Yeah, right." And then other people were just poking and prodding him for more information and this and that. And I don't know how it got figured out, but I guess I don't know if Nintendo found him or if someone on Reddit outed him or what. But anyway, he came back and was like, "Yeah, I don't have the Switch anymore. I sent it back to Nintendo. I didn't know where I got it from. I didn't know it was stolen." And so all of a sudden it turned into him playing dumb. Nintendo, I guess, figured out where it was released from, one of the distributors.
Right. Yeah, it was stolen from one of their distributors, apparently. And they managed to track down who it was, because apparently some people got fired.
Yeah, they got fired and the system got reclaimed.
Yeah.
I guess this guy's out because he bought stolen property.
Yeah.
I guess if he sticks to his guns that he didn't know, he probably won't get in trouble. I'm wondering if when he went through the menus, if he showed a serial number and that's how they figured it out.
I'm wondering if he put it online and Nintendo was like, "Oh, look at that."
I think he did go online with it, actually. So I guess they could have gone through IPs or something. And
I'm sure they were able to track it down and figure out that it was a stolen unit.
The thing, you know what the worst part is he had it early, and sure, he made this video, and it's got hundreds of thousands of views,
maybe even millions.
But I don't think he had any games. So he could.
No, he flat out said, "I have no games." There was somewhere at some point it said, "I have nothing to play on this." So,
speaking of the Switch, the eShop, it has come to light that purchases are now tied to your Nintendo account as opposed to the console. With 3DS and I guess Wii U and Wii, they're tied to the actual hardware. So if your hardware died, you had to go through a whole rigmarole with Nintendo to, I don't know if they just credited you the games you purchased and then you could re-download them on your new system or how it worked, but apparently it was just a big, huge pain in the ass.
Right.
And now, finally, they're tying it to your username like most other services out there. So.
Interesting that we're talking about this, because it has recently just come to light that your downloadable games cannot exist on multiple consoles simultaneously. Want to play on someone else's console? Looks like you'll have to switch your consoles. So yeah, I'm just reading through. It looks like this just broke not long ago.
So still tied to the hardware, not tied to the hardware?
Yeah, that's kind of what it sounds like.
I guess
exactly.
On the plus side is that you could re-download them all on another system if yours was to get stolen or broken, which was a huge pain in the ass before.
Yeah. An audience, apparently this was at a recent preview event. There was a YouTuber that asked a question about if in the situation that he bought a second Switch for his kids, whether he'd be able to buy digital games from the eShop once and have them playable on both systems. And the response that he received was, "Currently, we don't have a system like that in place for Nintendo Switch." but
something they
we
could
haven't
do.
made any final decisions on how we would approach that going forward in the future. So unfortunately, I can't provide any concrete answer for you right now. So
Not totally out of the realm of possibility.
yeah, so it sounds like that hasn't been completely confirmed or figured out yet, which, to be honest, is seeming a lot like quite a few things on the Switch. For a console that's releasing in a week, essentially, there seems to be an awful lot that they haven't figured out yet.
So
Slightly disconcerting, but anyways.
In our next bit of Switch news, sorry people, it comes out next week, so.
Yeah.
Apparently GameStop, EB Games in Canada, I don't know about EB Games in Canada, hasn't said anything officially, but GameStop in the US said they will have very small quantities for walk-in customers. Currently, pre-orders are sold out everywhere.
Right.
So it sounds like if you line up and you're lucky, they might have 3 or 4 per store or something stupid, ridiculously slow, I'm sure, knowing Nintendo and their past track record. So if you want one, hopefully you pre-ordered so you don't have to go through that rigmarole and want to shoot somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, my luck. My pre-order will show up God knows when, and who knows when I'll actually be able to get it. So
Yeah, yours is coming in the mail. I got
Yeah.
mine pre-ordered at EB, and I took the day off.
wow, you're going hardcore.
Oh yeah, I'm freaking not making the mistake of the last few consoles where I've worked and like can't play. Yeah, it's been every time a console comes out and it's like I'm working and then I have it in my van and then it's like I go home and then it's like have all the other bullshit. I'm like, nope, taking the whole day off and playing freaking Zelda. Whip it out right in the parking lot and just start playing Zelda.
There you go. Don't even get out of your car.
Don't even go home so I don't have to deal with the responsibilities of home.
Being an adult.
Um,
Plug it into your cigarette lighter and have at her.
Final Fantasy VII Remake director shows screenshots of the first boss, the game's first boss. And man, they look really freaking pretty.
Yeah, that game looks really pretty.
So, I guess in another 5 years when it finally comes out, we'll get to see it for ourselves.
You forget, my friend. They're releasing it in episodes.
I know they are. So it doesn't mean it's going to come out any sooner.
First episode. It wouldn't surprise me if the first episode comes out sooner rather than later. But
wasn't this wasn't even E3 last year. It was E3 the year before, right?
Yep.
Oh well.
I do want to point out, speaking of Nintendo Switch, that the cases for the Switch games.
Oh yeah, we shared photos on Facebook and Twitter.
What the hell is that all about?
They're like PSP cases.
They're big cases.
They're not
for a
big.
Tiny little game.
They look big in comparison to the cartridges. The games are tiny.
The games are tiny. That's what I'm saying. But the case itself is huge. I'm amazed that they're not even at least using 3DS cases, because those to me seem.
I think they just want the shelf real estate. You don't want to sell yourself short with a small case. It's like, no, we're a big boy console. We have big boxes. The cards are like really small. Like they're smaller than a Vita cartridge, not by much. Definitely smaller than a 3DS cartridge. I didn't think they were going to be that small.
No, I'm not surprised. Yeah, it's essentially glorified SD cards.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is.
They're essentially SD cards with added security and stuff, right?
I can't wait. I'm so excited. I'm ridiculously excited. Where are we? So, yeah. Oh, Final Fantasy Square, on the topic of Square Enix, they announced a new RPG called Project Prelude Rune and just released a bunch of concept art.
It seems super early to announce this to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like strangely early.
The concept art looks cool.
But I mean, we're talking like they don't even figure out what kind of a game they're making yet, other than check out some cool concept art, and we have the former creators of Tales on hand here to help us build these games.
The concept art looks cool. Dragons, elves, high fantasy, less steampunk high fantasy than a lot of the Final Fantasy stuff is, so maybe we'll just have a different aesthetic.
Yeah, maybe.
That's cool. A new IP, not more of the same.
I appreciate that.
Horizon Zero Dawn. Lucky bastards who got early copies of the game. The review embargo was up on Monday at midnight.
Yep.
And man, this game is universally getting praised.
I'm amazed. GameSpot gave it a 9. Giant Bomb gave it 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5. Yeah. Very high reviews. Lots of 10s.
IGN gave it a 93. Yeah, no, they are really... I mean, I knew when we played it at PAX that it was something special, but I'm kind of half amazed that it's getting...
you weren't as hyped as I was. You were like, yeah, that was good.
I thought it was really good. I did.
But I was like, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah, you were very much on board. I'm happy to see that obviously the rest of the game is as good as what we played.
Super glad too, because that was the thing. I was like, it demoed good. The vertical slices were good. The E3 demos were good. The PAX demos were good. I was like, hey, this game looks good. They could only fuck it up because everything they've shown so far is like, this is super promising.
Yeah.
And they've done it. Like, that's great. Especially Guerrilla's an awesome developer. They've done the Killzone series, which, you know, has been hit or miss. I like the last one, Shadowfall. It had its issues, but they've just never had that breakthrough title. And I feel like this new IP is that title, and they're going to get the recognition of a quality studio that they are, which is really cool too.
Well, and I think the going back to the Killzone stuff, I think that the first Killzone game was they were sort of handed like, you guys have to get us a Halo killer.
Yeah,
so they tried to make something
handcuffed with that challenge. Killzone, it's the Halo killer,
and it was fine. And then the second one, like, to be fair, the second Killzone game was great. I really liked the second one a lot. It was a good game, but I don't know. I felt like every time they were making another one, they were trying to go back to the well and do that thing that they were supposed to do the first time. And while I thought that Shadowfall, the last one, was quite good, it still wasn't a great game. So to see them walk away from that makes me happy, because I think that at that point that they had just been doing it for so long, and they needed something to start fresh on and just really allow those creative juices to get going and to flow. Because obviously we've seen that these guys, especially from a technical aspect, they're incredible. Mm-hmm. The stuff that they're managed to do with the PS3 and the PS4. And yes, I realize that they're a first party developer, so they get all the keys to the castles to make the PS3 and the PS4 purr. But man, there's some serious technical prowess there that just, in a way, sort of felt wasted on the Killzone games. So now to see them do the same thing again with Horizon, and I mean, it is gorgeous. It's one of the best looking games on the PlayStation 4, hands down. But to also hear that they managed to put an incredible game behind that visuals is awesome. And like I said before, when we talked about it, before they even announced it, I said, man, I would love to see Guerrilla make a new IP and not do another Killzone. Just, I want to see something new from those guys. And to see this coming out of them and for it to be amazing, I'm really happy for them.
Yeah. The game looks fantastic.
I can't wait to play it.
Super hyped after PAX. Well, obviously, next week's episode, we will have it and we'll have played it. And if you haven't been living under a rock and have any interest in an open world / RPG type
Horizons game, comes out next week along with freaking the Switch. Like, oh.
So that comes out before we record. Switch comes out after we record. So
it's true.
Unless we delay our recording to talk about Switch. And our
no, we're not going to do that because we're going to be playing the Switch that day.
Okay, that's right.
So I don't have the day off to just sit at home and whack off to my Switch like you do. So,
hey, I still have a wife and kid that are going to be here, so
My precious. Oh, my precious.
I'm so
that
sad.
and mine's going
Man,
to come to my
I
door,
don't
and
even
then I
know
got to try
how.
and
Oh,
get my
I need
mailman
to seriously.
person to...
You saw my tweet. I seriously need to make a deal with the devil. There's not enough hours in the freaking day.
Yeah, I hear you.
Horizon is like 50 plus hours. Who knows how long Breath of the Wild is?
Oh,
On the plus side, I can play Breath of the Wild on my breaks at work, which is great. So I
on
can
the go.
I can get an hour a day at work. So,
Right.
which is pretty goddamn handy.
Plus,
No, technically I could do that with Horizon, but remote play is a little trickier because then I need to be somewhere with Wi-Fi and it's spotty at best.
and also this kind of slides into our PSA. The Ghost Recon Wildlands open beta begins this weekend, so that'll be happening on Thursday. So probably when you guys are listening
By
to this,
the time you're listening to this, yeah, that's on all consoles, right?
it is PC, Xbox One, and PS4.
I'm re-downloading it as we
I
speak.
am currently I am preloading it as we speak on PC.
So
I look forward to playing some of that with you this weekend, Rick.
What?
We got to roll together.
Oh, with me.
And shoot some fools.
Like you're talking to someone else for a second. I'm like, there's no one else here. It's just me.
Just you.
Yeah. No, my brother-in-law downloaded it as well, so we could probably try rolling in a crew of 3. We're definitely going to be playing tomorrow night.
Sweet.
So if you're on tomorrow night, we'll keep an eye out for you.
Sweet.
So we're done with the news. There wasn't a lot. There's more blah blah about PewDiePie and all that nonsense, but we don't need to go into that.
We don't need to get into that.
So I can't think of any other news. It was a lot of Switch stuff. The stolen Switch, the interface.
I wonder why. It's almost like the Switch comes out next week.
And Horizon. That was the big stuff from last week. So yeah, PSAs, Ghost Recon, open beta. Go download that now. You need Uplay if you're on PC. If you don't have Uplay, I assume it'll just be available in the stores on Xbox and PS4.
Yes, it is.
AMD's Ryzen set. Is it Ryzen? Is that how you say it? Yeah, Ryzen.
I want to say Ryzen.
Ryzen. Oh yeah, Ryzen.
I don't.
Maybe.
Yeah, I
Ryzen
don't know.
7 series of processors are out next week. They're launching on March 2nd. I actually saw you could pre-order them on NCIX. Just like you said earlier before we started recording, there's no real specs or benchmarks out yet.
They haven't released processors to reviewers.
They'd have to be dropping any day now.
I would think, seeing as these are going on pre-order, yet they haven't allowed anybody to see actually how fast they are. The only benchmarks that we've seen currently are from AMD themselves, so obviously they're going to be, trying really hard.
Their high-end chip looks pretty dope.
Well, that's what this is. This is an 8-core, 16-thread processor.
I know. That sounds ridiculous.
They're releasing them in three chunks. The top one is going to be, I believe it's $550. And then they go down from there. The whole idea here is that these are going to be fighting up against the Intel, what used to be the Extreme series, so the 2011 socket processors. That's what these are going up against, which is currently Intel's 6-core and 8-core processors. But here's the interesting thing, is that AMD's cheapest Ryzen processor, which is retailing for, I believe it's $350 American, is designed to go up against the i7 7700K processor, which is actually a quad-core processor with hyper-threading for a total of 8 threads. So it'll be interesting because guaranteed, because of the clock speed differences between those two chips, the Intel chip is going to be significantly faster single-threaded. But what'll be very interesting is that has a total of 8 threads happening at the same time, whereas the new Ryzen would have a possible 16 threads working at the same time.
So if a game or app takes advantage of that. Oh,
exactly. It could be really intriguing. The other thing, obviously, we don't know how well it overclocks. We don't know if it's overclockable.
Stability.
We haven't. Well, that's the big thing with any of this stuff is what is the platform going to look like? How well are the upcoming motherboards going to look like? What is the whole platform going to look like? So I'm not like a huge proponent of anyone right now, as long as I'm all about who's got the fastest, and obviously Intel has been by far and away the fastest for a long time.
So long. So this is nice.
Dude, competition is good. Yeah, we need it. We need it to get Intel to get off their laurels and make some real changes, because currently all they're doing is die shrinks and clock speed increases.
And they don't have another die shrink.
Architecture.
They don't have another die shrink in the horizon. So it's,
not for a while, no.
The development's slowed down. They've owned the market for so long. Their prices have been
they've gotten crazy
they haven't been
again.
inexpensive. They're expensive.
Yeah. So this is good, especially if the new Ryzen is actually as fast as they're claiming it is. It could really
light a fire under Intel's ass.
Well, it could make things interesting in the market.
Maybe bring prices down.
That would be great. The other thing that's kind of interesting is that we should be hearing about their new, I believe it's called the Vega series of video cards from AMD, which rumors are that it's going to be called the RX 500 series. So currently AMD's got the RX 480 and the 460 and the 470 processors. So, GPUs, sorry. So there's also a rumor that we should be hearing something about the 500 series, which would be their faster versions of all of those, possibly soon. I've heard that it might be GDC. Also, there is currently a countdown happening for NVIDIA, which you might not like too much.
Oh, I know it is. It's a 1080 Ti.
Yeah, there's currently a countdown ongoing, and it's counting down to the 1080 Ti.
Which, I don't know, I've had my card, 4 months now? And the Ti is going to also be more expensive, so.
Yeah, if the rumors are true, the Ti is going to be faster than the Titan X,
or comparable to the Titan at half the cost, but the Titan's like $2,000.
Yeah,
something ridiculous like that.
Apparently, like looking at the tables that I've been looking at, it's essentially going to have slightly lower shader processors than the Titan, but it's going to be running at quite a bit higher clock speeds. So they're saying performance is going to be. They're claiming performance on the new 1080 Ti at around 10.8 teraflops, which is pretty significant.
Yeah, I don't know how much of it. Obviously, there'd be an improvement, but I don't think the cost would justify it. I don't know.
I think you're totally right. I doubt that this thing's going to be a very high end part. So
yeah, because my card was $800. I think the Ti is going to be definitely over $1,000.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they decide to keep both in, or if they decide to push out the 1080 or not. So we'll see. It'll be interesting. So that'll be also happening March 1st. So next week, Wednesday, we'll probably have a bit more news about that next week when we record.
Yeah, this thing arrives late March.
So,
and that probably announced next week and then start shipping a few weeks after.
More than likely.
Stupid technology.
Moves in leaps and bounds.
You never win. So the last bit of our public service announcements, Xbox announced their March titles for games with gold.
Gold, Jerry. Gold.
Layers of Fear.
Okay.
Xbox One, no idea what that is. It looks like a horror game of some sorts, judging by the cover.
Yeah,
Evolve, it's a horror game. Ultimate Edition.
Which I thought went free to play. Maybe just on PC?
Maybe it was just on PC. Borderlands 2, Xbox 360, so that's backwards compatible.
Right.
And then Heavy Weapon, which is another Xbox 360 back compatible game.
Yeah, an arcade
Borderlands
shoot 'em up.
2 is a really good game. Evolve was fun, and I know nothing about Layers of Fear, so...
I don't know anything about it either. All I know is it's a horror game.
They don't even show anything. Hold on, I'm going through the trailer here. Layers of Fear. Looks like some... Yeah, it's a first-person horror survival type game.
Yeah.
Scary walking simulator. Yeah, those are your games. Borderlands 2 is dope. It's old though. You've probably played it already. Would be my guess.
I own it on PC. Played it a bunch. I don't know. It was fine.
Yeah, we played it a lot because we had a crew of 4, so we had a lot of fun with it.
I think that's important. I think those games, especially the Borderlands games, I feel like are a lot better if you play them with people. Because I played a ton of the first one with a few of my friends, and we had a blast. So
that being said, that's it for public service announcements.
Yeah.
Actually, did you see that thing that NASA discovered, the 7 planets?
I did.
So the aliens are going to show up any day now.
Probably.
They know we saw them, and they're like, oh, they've detected us. Now we can go over there.
So what you're saying is they're all screwed, right?
No, because they're going to be peaceful. Because they've moving past materialistic capital-based societies. They're peaceful tribe that will share their information with us and teach us how to be not the stupid human race that we are.
Oh, man. I wish that was true.
I know, it's fucking kind of scary.
That or they'll look down and be like, we want nothing to do with those idiots.
I don't think any race or creature, anything that's capable of space travel would not interact with us. At the very least, there's probably stuff on our planet that they would need or use.
Like I said, so then they'd kill us and take our planet.
It's kind of scary. I do kind of want it to happen in my lifetime, though.
Yeah.
It's really cool. 7 planets, Earth-sized, and I think what they're saying, I could be totally wrong, that
traveling around the sun.
4 of them are essentially habitable. Is that what it is?
Well, they're saying that 1 is very similar to ours in the fact that it's in like the habitable zone, and it looks like it may be in a good place for life. So
that potentially has water.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Man, I really want to know. Well, I already know. There has to be. We're going off on a tangent here, people. In an infinite universe with infinite possibility, we can't be the only things out here. Right? Considering how much life is on our planet and different species, let alone on our own planet. Like, we can't just be a fucking fluke, right? We can't. Not when infinite probability allows the chances would be that there would have to be... It wouldn't be another life as we know it type planet, but there would be other life, right? Doesn't it seem logical?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I think that, yeah, you're probably onto something. There's probably life out there.
Like, if our galaxy ended...
I don't know.
Our galaxy ended and our galaxy was limited and we knew the whole extent of our solar system, or say our solar system was the whole universe and that's all there was, then yeah, okay, we're a fluke. Then what's the point of the whole galaxy's existence? These are stupid, crazy questions, obviously. There's no answers. or we cannot comprehend answers to these questions. But then it'd be like, okay, yeah, there's nothing out there. But it's fucking infinite. It goes forever. There's millions and millions and billions of stars, let alone planets like ours. Like,
there's lots.
Man, I want Mass Effect in real life. We were born like 1 million years too early.
1 million years? Wow.
I wonder if Earth will even be around in a million years.
I don't know. We're pretty much screwing it up pretty good, so...
The way we're going, yeah, I fucking doubt it, but...
It's already overpopulated, and... yeah.
Okay, let's jump this train back on the tracks.
Yeah, no kidding. Jeez.
So, we were talking about our game of the year is 2016.
Yeah, we
for
did.
like a long time now. Super overdue.
Exactly.
I don't know how much there is to add, because we've talked about a lot of these games in or at great length, because obviously we've fallen in love with them at different point in time. I easily have a top 10 for the year, but we're just going to go over 5. I'm going to talk about my...
Are these in... Are we putting them in a...
No.
This is my top game, or is this just... These are my top 5 games?
These are my top 5 games.
Do you want to pick a top 1, though?
In no particular order. If I was to pick a top 1, I'd probably... Oh, it's really hard.
For me, I think there is a game that I would choose as a top 1. The rest of them, I feel like, would be in no particular order.
Yeah. What are you going to say? Uncharted 4?
For me, Uncharted 4 is definitely my favorite game of last year.
It's just pretty high up
that
there.
Storytelling and the characters and the writing, and they made you feel like you cared about it.
I can approve this message. It was the first one that came to mind when I was thinking of Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Uncharted 4 just instantly was the first thing I wrote down. Like, I wrote my little list down today.
Same. And I had a lot of driving to do today, and I was thinking about it a lot while I was driving. And out of all of the games that I played, that's a game that every week or so I kind of want to reinstall and play again, which kind of is saying a lot. Like, every time somebody talks about it, it makes me want to put it back on my console and play through it again.
That's why you gotta get a 2 terabyte hard drive in your PS4.
I know.
I filled my hard drive up, my launch hard drive up so fast. I'm like, yep,
dude, it's constantly full. It's brutal.
I was like, fuck this shit. I'm getting a bigger hard drive, and I'm half full. Over half full on my 2 terabyte.
I'm just waiting for them to release the new update, and then I'll just plug in an external.
That is pretty easy.
Yeah.
Because every time I've put in an internal, it's taken 10 hours to back up and then restore the saves.
Exactly.
Thank God you can actually do that.
Yeah, well, not yet, but soon.
No, I mean, with the restore and backup, at least you can do that. If I had to start from scratch, I'd be super pissed. Yeah, the like you said, the story, top-notch. Characters, storytelling, the art direction, the game as a whole was just how the whole series evolved and peaked with this title. Like, amazing. And one of the best video game endings ever.
Yeah, no, they honestly nailed every aspect of that game for me. One could argue that there was obviously the Uncharted tropes where you're climbing and you're diving and you're shooting a ton, and that it didn't change any of those systems necessarily. But I felt that they did stealth really well. It was fun. You could try and stealth it as best you can, and then if all hell breaks loose, it wasn't a big deal. You could continue on and cap some fools. It was great.
And they introduced some new cool characters.
Oh my goodness. The character building in that game and the writing in that game and just the facial feature, like the characters, you felt like they were alive. You felt like these were characters. It felt more like a movie than a video game. And no game, I think the closest game for me that had done that was probably The Witcher 3. But because The Witcher 3 was so huge,
it's not as tightly constructed
a
narrative because it is an open world game. So the impact is, it's less impactful as a tight linear, well, not that Uncharted is super linear, but a tight narrative like in Uncharted 4 because it's A to B, not A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P.
Totally.
Like Witcher is, right? So even though Witcher has amazing stories, cutscenes, characters as well. But you could be 10 hours between an interaction of value like that, where the story moves along. You could just be battling monsters and doing pointless side quests that don't have the big cutscenes and giant events.
Except that it's The Witcher 3, so all of the side quests do have all that shit. But anyways.
That was our game of 2015.
Absolutely.
So yeah, Uncharted 4.
Uncharted 4 for me, it wrapped up that series in such an incredible way. It made me care about characters that I didn't think I would care about. It made me want to see characters that I never thought I'd want to see again.
Let alone introducing a new character so late in the series that, like you said, that you're like, okay, I care about this guy. This guy's done really well.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about his well-being and his story. And it was really cool how they also left it they left it open to, move Uncharted forward as something new as well.
Exactly, but without Drake and without that.
And without making you feel shortchanged.
Exactly. You felt like this was the end of Drake's story and you were happy about that.
And you got a good payoff or payout, whatever.
Totally. And I actually, for the last game in the series, I guess a bit of a spoiler for anybody who hasn't played it, but I loved the fact that they didn't go back to the supernatural well that the previous 3 games had gone to.
Mm-hmm.
This was all grounded in reality.
Reality, yeah.
It was totally far off reaching in a crazy pirate story, but it didn't spiral into a crazy
there is no ghost
supernatural. At so many times I thought, this disaster happened and the pirates are gonna rise from the grave and start killing me or something like that because of some weird pirate curse that some voodoo lady put on them. I don't know how many times that thought started occurring to me, but at the end, it was so good. And it somehow managed to take all of those previous crazy stories and somehow make them work in that universe in such an awesome way. No, hands down, I love that, Naughty Dog, those guys, they know how to make a game, man.
Yeah.
Like if you own a PS4 and you have not played Uncharted 4, I feel like you're doing yourself a huge disservice.
Yeah, and after you play that, play The Last of Us, because that game is phenomenal as well.
Yeah.
Were we recording? No, we weren't recording the podcast when The Last of Us originally came out, were we? I don't think so.
No.
That was up, and I'd still say Last of Us is one of the best games ever.
Yeah.
On par. Uncharted 4, I'd say, is on par with it, but the stories are very different and the worlds are very different, so they do 2 very different things, but the top notch.
Fair enough.
So for me, it was kind of tough because I love all these games a lot, and I could interchange any one of these with some of my honorable mentions as well.
Right.
But it kind of...
I was actually surprised about one of those honorable mentions. Figured for sure it would be on your actual list.
Which one? Hello?
That one.
Oh, okay. For those that can't see our outline, he's hired.
Yeah. I'm highlighting Doom.
How I broke down my list was the games that I played the most of.
Okay.
And the ones that I had the most excitement during the campaign and or just multiplayer. So that's why that title didn't make it in my top 5. Because, anyway. So for me, after Uncharted 4, yeah, hands down, Game of the Year. Then I would say you can interchange any one of these titles. I have Dishonored 2, Overwatch, Infinite Warfare, and Titanfall 2.
Fair enough. So the rest of my list looks like Titanfall 2, Doom, Overwatch, and everybody can roll their eyes now, but I don't care, Stardew Valley.
Stardew Valley and Doom are in my honorable mentions, as well as Forza 3, Dark Souls 3, and Pokemon Sun and Moon.
Forza Horizon 3.
Forza Horizon 3, sorry. But the reason I chose the other ones over them is just I've played them more. I put easily 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 hours into these games.
Mm-hmm.
And I've played the multiplayer, and I've gone back multiple times. Like Infinite Warfare, fantastic campaign. Multiplayer zombies, I played tons with my brother-in-law.
That's true. Yeah, you did. I forgot about that.
Overwatch dominated a good 4 or 5 months.
Summer and most of fall last year.
A good 4 or 5 months since it released was like our go-to game for our boys' night.
Hey, we still play it when we get together for work. We still play it.
The thing I didn't talk about on our What You've Been Playing outline, which I'll talk about next week, or probably not, because I'll be talking about Horizon next week, has taken over our boys' night. But anyway, Overwatch for that aspect. Like, I don't know how many hours, but I've put tons into that, and I enjoyed every minute. And for a multiplayer game, only multiplayer game,
yeah,
I kept wanting more, and that's like unheard of. I'm not that guy, and I would play it on my own, not with the guys around. So that is a testament to how good of a title that game is.
No, that's
super,
fair.
super solid gameplay, and obviously Dishonored 2. I just love the world, and I love murdering people. I mean, I love sneaking around and being stealthy and murdering people.
Yeah, that's fair.
I like the world they've crafted in the storytelling. Dishonored 2 is a fantastic, fantastic game.
Yeah, I'm still. I still got to beat the first one before I play the second one.
And then, of course, Titanfall 2, which was they built
amazing.
on what their successes of the first game, adding a fantastic campaign, excellent multiplayer. It's a quality title.
Yeah, I love that game. It's great. It's funny though. I mean, it's definitely one of my favorite multiplayer experiences, but it's a shame because a bunch of my friends didn't pick it up. No. And it kind of really sucks because I think that game would be a better game with people that I know that are playing it. But unfortunately, all of those people that I know that I normally play these types of games with, they're all over playing Battlefield 1.
Battlefield, yeah.
And it's actually a bummer because I've definitely at this point now spent more time playing Battlefield 1 multiplayer than Titanfall 2 multiplayer. But it's funny because I still think that I prefer Titanfall 2 multiplayer
Titanfall 2,
to
hands
it.
Down. Like Titanfall has, next to Overwatch, it's the best multiplayer game of the year.
I agree. I totally agree. It's a phenomenal single player game, and the multiplayer is fantastic.
No, it is awesome. Like Infinite Warfare's multiplayer, nobody's playing it. It's dead.
Yeah.
My buddy messaged me. He's like, I can't get in the game.
Wow.
It's like nobody's playing it. Like Zombies is a whole. To
be fair, this is what we're talking. We're talking about this on PC because I know for a fact that if you're playing it on console, that's not a problem.
Zombies mode is different. Like that's a whole separate game. In fact.
Yeah.
But yeah, Infinite Warfare. I think the campaign and the zombies. I had a lot of fun with that game. Yeah. Doom. Like you have Doom on your list. Doom was freaking awesome. The only
Doom
reason
is on my list.
Doom, Doom is fantastic.
Think for me, I think Doom surprised me.
It surprised me as well.
I played that demo, and I kind of walked away from that demo not super excited about it.
Yeah, Doom. You're like, huh.
I was like, yeah, that kind of is cool. I don't know. It seemed like it was missing something for me. But then because everybody was like ranting and raving and just going on about how it might be the best game they've ever played, and I managed to pick it up on the Steam summer sale for $30 or whatever it was.
I got it late. I got it right at the end of the year.
Yeah. That really kind of made me think like, crap, maybe I am missing something and maybe I do need to look more into this. And I'm sure glad I did because
me too.
That continued to surprise me. The level design, the depth of that game, and just how much fun I had playing it. I didn't expect that.
It's like I said, it's in my top 10. Like my honorable mentions: Doom, Forza Horizon 3, Dark Souls 3, Pokemon Sun and Moon, and Stardew Valley. Could replace any of those titles with the exception of Uncharted 4 Any of the other titles, you could swap with one of those. The only reason I put them as honorable mentions is I just kept going back and playing more of the other games.
Yep. And that's fair. That is totally fair. I get that.
But all those games I mentioned are freaking fantastic. Like last year was a really good game.
Oh, man.
Good year for games. And actually,
especially for shooters. I was looking at my list going like, these are all, like, most of these games that I'm thinking about are freaking first-person shooters. Incredible year for those last year. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, they all technically were first-person shooters.
And I'm not gonna lie, man. Stardew Valley, where the hell did that thing come from?
Speaking of Stardew Valley, I'm into my summer, my second year. I got my greenhouse.
Very nice.
Totally expanded my coop in my barn. I got the fucking void chickens. I got the sheep and the cows and the bunnies and the.
See, you're rolling now.
My greenhouse is rolling with some good fruits and shit. I'm kicking ass now.
See, and that is a game that on the weekend, I figured I'd play a bit, and next thing I knew, 6 hours had gone by.
That game is ridiculous.
It
ridiculous
is
for that.
Scary how bad that is. So before recording this podcast tonight, I was talking to my wife, and I was curious how many hours she had. She has over 111 hours played now.
Holy crap.
In Stardew Valley.
My save is up 50 hours now.
Yeah,
which
no,
is crazy.
I'm 48. I'm right somewhere close to that.
I actually played a lot of Stardew Valley this last week, but I just didn't want to talk about it earlier because I think we've gotten... I know at least 4 or 5 people that started playing this game because of us. And they're like,
and they love-hate us?
Yeah, they love-hate us for it because it's so addicting.
It is. It's honestly, I haven't played a game. And to be totally fair, I have to give a huge shout out to freaking Dan Reichert for getting me addicted to this game as badly as he did, because he was the one championing it hard on the Giant Bomb Game of the Year podcast.
Yeah.
And I picked it up on the Steam sale for, I don't even remember. It's not an expensive game regardless.
I think it's $20 full price.
And in all honesty, I kind of wish I would have paid full price, because it's a game like that, and I just, the guy deserves all the props, man.
I'm in a weird spot. I've gotten so far in that game that I'm like, okay, well, I can still get married. There's still a bunch of stuff to do, but I'm almost at the same point where I feel like stopping, because I know it's coming out for the Switch, and oh my god, that's like literally,
you can take it with you.
That's literally walking around with like the heroin needles stuck in your arm.
Yeah.
Like that's dead. Man. That's deadly.
Yeah, I mean, I always thought, this would make a great Vita game, but yeah, now that you mention it, oh man, I might buy it for a third time on the Switch.
It might come out for Vita still, or they haven't said anything. I don't see the Vita could run this game.
I feel like it could, but I don't know.
It would do really well on Vita as well.
Oh man, to me it just seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah, like I said, it's not in my top 5, but it is in my top 5 because, and just like Pokemon Sun and Moon, I beat both those games.
How many hours you got to have in those things?
Over 100 hours with the two of them combined. Dark Souls 3 is like my biggest thing that I'm most shameful of in this list here.
Okay.
Like, I have to go back to Dark Souls 3 and beat it.
You feel like you at least need to.
I don't know what happened. What pulled me away from it? I think it was Overwatch, because I think they came out around the same time.
No, it absolutely was Overwatch. Dark Souls 3 came out, I think, like a few weeks before Overwatch did.
It was like a week or two before. You're right.
Yeah,
and then,
and as much as publishers don't think that, Dark Souls and Overwatch, they're so different.
No,
but
I hate that. Like Horizon and Zelda, that's dumb.
Oh, it's so dumb.
Even though they're different consoles, but it's like, the one plus side is Horizon. I can I could remote play it, but I wouldn't, because that would be like tragic not seeing that beautiful game on the TV.
That makes me angry, because there is, like, what the hell happened with publishers this year? They're just like, we'll just, instead of releasing them in the fall or spreading them out through the year,
in like a couple weeks after.
This is what I'm saying.
Did you see that trailer?
Why couldn't they spread this shit out a little bit? Why couldn't they go like, okay, well, Zelda, why don't we give people a few weeks or a month and then release Mass Effect or Persona 5 or... This is what I'm saying.
Talk about 2017.
Neo.
2017 is already off to a good start.
Yeah.
Or a bad start, depending on your criteria. Yeah, it's true. Horizon, Zelda next week. Then 2 weeks after that is Ghost Recon. Then I think a week after that is Mass Effect, which looks freaking fantastic after watching that really combat trailer that I shared on Facebook and Twitter. If you guys didn't see that, go search it out. There's a combat gameplay trailer for
It looks pretty awesome. That almost made me go back and...
It looks super awesome.
So, because of my Ghost Recon Wildlands shenanigans with you, realizing that my hard drive was failing. It seems to be a certain area on that hard drive that's no good. The hard drive seems fine 99% of the time, but that one section's bad. So I've got another hard drive that I've been starting to transfer and back up stuff. And anyways, in the midst of all of this, I realized that I have a bunch of old game saves that I thought were gone. One of them being my original freaking Mass Effect save for PC. Now I was super tempted to go back and finish the original Mass Effect. I own the game. Now I've found my saves. I also found a few other games that I'm debating if I'm going to install and finish because I know I didn't finish them. And partly the reason I didn't go back to them is because I got so far and then I thought those game saves were gone. So yeah.
I remember when I was talking about it crashing on me every once in a while when we were playing last time.
Yeah.
I didn't have it on my SSD the last time, so this time I've put it on my SSD. But also, there's been new drivers. And also, obviously, I assume this open beta is going to be an updated build of the game compared to the last one. So
it's actually going to add some stuff. It's going to add a new area. I believe it's got another province in this upcoming beta this weekend.
Alberta?
Yeah. Hopefully not. That would be boring.
The wild Canada
oil sands
yonder.
Yeah.
All the coke dealers we have up here. And cartels.
Yeah.
The fucking bears are dealing drugs. The wolves.
Would not play.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, no. So that's it's a little late, but that was our Games of the Year 2016.
Yeah, we've talked about
our unanimous vote. Uncharted 4 is our
overall
Geekoholics Game of the Year for 2016.
Yeah. But man, play everything else we've talked about. If you haven't. Use my Amazon code so that I get a kickback too. I'm just kidding. I don't have that. I guess that's a show, my friend.
I think that is.
Short but sweet.
Exactly.
We tried recording earlier. We had a little delay. So my baby was having a nuclear meltdown like Fukushima, and I had to go upstairs and had to put her in a sleeper headlock and make her pass out.
Yeah. You get to sleep, baby.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep. You can follow me on Twitter at RickF, no K, RICF.
And as always, you can come hit me up on Twitter at Dane Cody, at DAYNECODY.
Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Subscribe to us on YouTube. It's Geekoholics everywhere. It's the first thing that comes up in your Google search results. Review us on iTunes if you have not, or wherever fine podcasts are sold or downloaded from, because they're not sold anywhere. Or if you're paying for this, like, where's our money? Because I'm not seeing any of it. Just kidding, obviously. Thank you for listening, and until next week, we're out.
See you then.
Peace. Pick up Horizon so we can all play it together. We'll talk about it.
We will talk about it next week.
Switch is so close.
Later.
Peace.